Welcome back to American Wing Chun. I'm Sifu Matt Wright, and on this video we'll be going over the last set of Sunum Tao, the 8th set. So this particular part of the form is quite complicated. A lot of students struggle with this. There's a lot of details to it. It's kind of a different way of moving than any other part of the form. So normally when you do Sunum Tao, you either do both hands together at the same time doing the same thing, or you have one hand doing one thing at a time while the other hand does one thing at the same time doing the same thing. And then further in the form, they're both doing the same thing as each other again. It's not until the last part of the form that we're going to do now that the hands do different motions at the same time. And that's something interesting about the Wing Chun forms, is the end of the form tends to be a kind of teaser trailer for the next form. So in Chum Kiu, you have a lot of movements where you're doing different things with the hands at the same time. At the end of the Sunum Tao form, that's exactly what you're doing. At the end of the Chum Kiu form, you have a movement where you go underneath, or at least in our lineage you do. And in the Buji form, there's a lot of this underneath the arm kind of movements that you do. So in Sunum Tao, at the end of the form, what you're going to do, after you just finished the Bong Sao on the right side, now you're going to do a Gong Sao with your left hand going to the center, exactly like in the beginning of the form. Just one hand will do that. So this goes one. Now the right hand is going to open and slide wrist to the elbow, and the fingers are going to point down. And this is a 1-2 motion. This does not go at the same time. So 1, 2. So from here, this is where it gets complicated. The hand that's on top, your right hand, is going to turn palm down as it goes down and replaces the bottom hand. The bottom hand is going to turn palm up and come up as it replaces the top hand. So they cross at about the wrist, where the palms are more or less facing each other, but you're making contact on the wrist. And you're creating this scissor effect with your arms. So the wrist of the Gong Sao hand is going to travel in a straight line straight up your center. The wrist of the Tan Sao hand is going to travel in a straight line down the center. So you come up and down simultaneously. When you do that, that puts the elbow right in position for the next movement. So altogether, this goes 1, 2, then you do 3 repetitions of this. 1, 2, 3. On the third one, the left hand comes up into a fist, where the flat of the fist is facing forward, exactly like the beginning of the form where you do your first punch in the second set. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And from here, you do 3 chain punches. This fist will punch straight out. This hand still is open. A common mistake I see people do, on this last one, they will make a fist here, and it should stay in this Gong Sao position. It only turns into a fist once you've brought it up and it's hidden behind this hand. And then from there, that's the first punch, second punch, the third punch, the right arm comes back to this position, the hand opens flat, you do a Hyun Sao, and you pull back. And that's the end of the form. So to do that again, the left hand goes to Gong Sao, the right hand goes to the elbow with your wrist. The hands turn palm up and palm down simultaneously. So this goes together. Make sure you don't lift your shoulders to do this. Only bend your elbow to bring that up. And it should be more or less in the same position as this part of the form. The first set in Sunum Tao, you come out with this cross Tan Sao. That's exactly where this goes, and this picks up to that same position. And the hands should be exactly in line with the forearm. There shouldn't be any angle to the wrist. A lot of people try to do weird things where the fingers point out to the side. It should be pointing in a straight line with the arm the whole time. When you're doing this Tan Sao to the elbow, the fingers point down because that's the direction your force is going, but it's going to turn out to the side. And now you have this shape of your arm. So this goes 1, 2, 3, and then you do 3 chain punches. 1, 2, 3. Hand goes flat, circles, and comes back. To close the stance, the right foot is going to point straight. The left foot is going to drag over to your right, and then you just relax your arms. Don't do this kind of thing where you have tension in your body and you're really stiff with this. It just relaxes. So if I was on a line and I open my stance from the beginning of the form in set 1, and I go through the whole form, all 8 sets, at the end, after I've done this, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hand goes flat, circles, and comes back. When I close my stance, my left foot should come over to the right foot, and I am now offline. And so there's applications to that eventually with our footwork. But for right now, you're just learning how to get offline. So that's how that part of the form is done. There is another detail I want to kind of show with this. When I pick this hand up on the last one to make a fist, I want to bring this hand up in a way where the hand is in a straight line facing forward. And when I have this hand cover my fingers, that's where I will make the fist. So I don't want to do this, where I make a fist now, where you can see me making a fist when I punch. I want to kind of hide the fact that I'm making a fist. By the time you see it, it's already here. And then when I punch out with this hand comes up, and this doesn't make a fist until it is hidden behind the front hand. So now it's here. It makes a fist like that. So from the side, you can maybe see it a little bit easier. As I push this hand down and this comes up, while my front hand, the one that's on top, is hiding my fingers, that's where I'll make the fist. Then I'll punch straight out, and this is where I'll make the second fist to do my punches. Another common mistake that people make in this part of the form, again, a lot of people make a lot of mistakes here, it's really complicated. This part of the form is not done fast. You don't go as fast as you can through that whole thing. There should be a 1, 2, it's the same pace as everything else. The punches are what you do fast. So there are 3 different speeds that you have throughout the form. In the beginning, when you're doing the cross gansao, and then it comes back, this is the pace that you have. Each point needs to be distinct. And then when you get to this part of the form, now you're going really slow. So this is the second speed. Right before this, you were going at a normal kind of blocky type pace. This is now really slow because you're really focusing on pulling and pushing with that elbow. And then it goes back to normal speed, and then you go slow again. So it relaxes, pushes forward, and goes slow. And then it goes back to normal speed, still normal speed through the rest of it, all the way to the end, where you finally have this. You're still doing that same speed. Now here's the third speed. You go as fast as you can. Try to do try to do 3 chain punches as fast as you can. Not as many as you can, because you'll be there all day. So this goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Circles, comes back, right foot points straight, left leg drags over, and you just relax your arms. So that's it for the 8th set, and that completes the detailed list of the sets of Sunam Tao. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give us a like. If you found it helpful, that helps us out when you like the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We also have a Patreon. You can go there and see the different tiers that we have. We offer a few different things that you can get for subscribing to the different tiers. I think tier 1, you get access to our Discord channel. You can chat with us. You can post videos. You can get early access to the new videos when we post on YouTube. Later on, like a higher tier, you can get access to the Zoom classes, and you can see us train live. and you can get video feedback. So while you're doing the form or anything that we can do in class, depending on how often you show up to the Zoom class, we can go through and I can correct your form. We can go through the whole thing. We can do some stepping drills, we can do footwork, we can do punching drills on a bag if you have one of those. We can really just advance based on where your skill level is. So that's something that's available through the Zoom class. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.